Hi, this is discussion board number 4, chapter 2, the Law of Education by Kristen Herring for ED/LD 5213, Public School Organization and Administration under Landon Grimes. Where educators tend to think that law, policy, and regulations are all the same, they are not, and the reading today was about the differences in the three of them. The legislature actually enacts our statutes, and these are the laws that the court determines to be constitutional or unconstitutional. Policy is a way that public institutions, such as a school district, choose to handle certain issues. And when a district has a personal issue that needs to be handled, such as teacher dress code, they create a policy for that dress code. School boards are able to act on issues and try to influence the public. And there are many public policy makers out there who also influence the courts. There are 5 forms of law. The first one is federal and state constitutional law. These provide protections, and they are granted through the Bill of Rights. In Chapter 2 of the Law and Ethics Educational Leadership, Stater reminded me that all laws passed by federal and state bodies, all constitutions, all regulations, and all school board policies are subject to the provisions of the U.S. Constitution. Then we have federal and state statutory law. The 10th Amendment gives the power to the state to create and maintain the public education. The states have the authority over the educational systems in their own states, so the federal government tends to tie education policies to money, leaving the states with difficult decisions to make. Either they align to the federal policy or they lose out on federal funding for education. States create state boards of education to create policies for schools. Most of these state boards of education decide standards for licensure, accreditation, and graduation, as well as creating the testing requirements, approving state education budgets, and the requirement for state programs. Then we have federal and state regulations. Agencies who have been given power to interpret, disseminate, and enforce statutory law and state board policies develop regulations, and they are enforced as law. If not followed, then they can put sanctions in place. Then we have federal and state common law, and cases are discussed in courts and decisions are made. Common law comes into play at that point. The rulings of the court provide others a chance to see the interpretation of legalities, and these decisions should influence the decisions that are made subsequently after that. Finally, we have state and local school board policy. Local school boards are to align their policies to meet the guidelines established by the state. In most cases, local school boards are elected to represent their community, and they are expected to monitor the budget and spending while supervising decisions. Administrators and school boards have the authority to make decisions within limits of state and federal law and policy. It's important that they stay up to date on regulations and continual changes that are constantly being made that impact education. This can be done through current blogs and online newsletters. The school law blog on edweek.org is one source that will allow educational leaders a way to stay informed on school law cases. These blogs, I read through several of them. They are quick and easy to read. However, it's important to have a variety of sources as an educational leader so that you can ensure that you're not reading the same thing, to prevent reading things that have bias in them. So you want to just be careful and read a variety of writings.